Hey guys, so I just wanted to make a little short video to explain my absence over the last week and my continued absence until the beginning of June. Something unexpected came up in the middle of the month, which was that I take the Jeopardy test every time it happens, and in this past run of the test, I was invited to audition. The only problem is normally they have New York as an audition city, and this time the closest audition city was Boston. So I had to make the trip up. And luckily I have a cousin who lives in Connecticut, and he actually he went to school in Massachusetts, so he knew the area, and he also had friends living in the area, so we were able to get transportation up there with limited hassle. And it was a great week. I had a great week doing New England stuff. I had lobster, which was awesome, and my uncle and my cousin made fun of me for it because they're native New Englanders, and it's weird. But it was fine. I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. It was, I like crab a little bit better, but that's not why you're watching this, because I'm pretty sure I gave this a really clickbaity title, like, I auditioned for Jeopardy, and I know you want to hear about that. So I don't know how much of the audition I'm technically allowed to tell you about, because obviously I signed something and I don't know what the legal ramifications are, so I'm going to be very vague, and if the Jeopardy lawyers want to come down hard on this video, I'll make a new one where I don't say the stuff they don't want me to. It was held in a hotel, conference rooms, and basically what happened was I went in, I had my application with me, and then we went in and we took a test. And then after we took the test, we took another test. And then after we did that, we did a mock game, where we basically, people were called up 3x3 to play a game, and I dominated the game. I was very fortunate that the categories that were up on the board were like books and pop culture and movies, all the stuff that I know because I'm an obsessive, reclusive nerd. And the first category where I pushed in, it was something I knew a lot about. So it was awesome. And then they did like a little interview portion, and it was great. The mock game was great. I got to hold the buzzer. Right. So after that, they did the little interview portion where they asked a few questions. What do you do? What's your job? What do you do for fun? Kind of prepping you for, being on stage and having to regale, an embarrassing story, an embarrassing anecdote, or talk about the way you proposed to your now wife. Or talk about a weird celebrity encounter, which, I have a few, so that could be fun if I get picked. And then they let us go and told us that we were, in a pool for the next 18 months. So I might get picked, and if I'm on Jeopardy, you guys will definitely be the first to know, because I will be plugging the shit out of that. Because it would probably be a pretty decent boon for this channel. Just people searching my name, looking me up. Because I know I look up some contestants when they have, like, an interesting backstory, like when they have an interesting job, and I'm like, oh, I want to know more about what they do. It doesn't happen often, but it does. So it might be a cool boon for this channel if I ever get on, but most people don't get on their first time, so I'm not really holding my breath, but it'd be really cool if I did. The whole experience was great. I was really nervous about it because, to be completely honest, you do the test every time. I've been doing the test for years, and I don't study well, so I didn't really prepare. My level of preparation was before I went out. I basically sat there on my phone doing endless Final Jeopardy. Or Infinite Final Jeopardy, whatever they call it, and I was being okay, I'm about 80% confident that I was able to answer these questions, so I should be fine. But it was really interesting. There were a lot of people there. The audition was, very fun. The people running it had a very high energy, and for a bunch of nervous people on the rainiest day of the week in Boston, where most of the people were not from, at least in my room, a lot of the people were not from Boston, or they were from other places before Boston, but it was extremely interesting, and it's an experience, definitely, and while I kind of wish it had just been in Manhattan so that I could have just hopped a train, I honestly, the trip to Boston was kind of fun, and I'm happy I was able to justify it. I went to Cheers, I went to an Asian supermarket. Those are going to be videos. I saw Detective Pikachu in a really nice theater. It was one of those AMC theaters that they don't really have near me. They probably do. I've just, my local theater is not one of them, and I don't really, when I want to go see a movie, I prefer to go to my local theater because it's closer. And that was great. I got to experience the sights. I had lobster. I went candlepin bowling. So it was honestly like the Jeopardy thing, because it enabled all that. I'm kind of very thankful that I got on, even if I don't make it on the show, because it was a really fun week, and it was nice to get out of the city into another city, if I'm being honest. Boston was really cool, though. Everyone I was with vetoed the one thing I wanted to do, which was I wanted to walk around wearing a Yankee cap. But I was told not to because I would get beat up. But I don't think so. I actually found that, Boston, it's like the level of, at least the places I went to, were the level of, belligerence was, way lower than, New York, everyone's already angry all the time. I'm angry all the time when I'm, in the city. But, it was really nice, and I definitely enjoyed it. I'm sorry I'm being vague about the Jeopardy thing, but I don't know how much I'm allowed to say, so I'm just being really vague about it. But it was very interesting. I am about as confident as I was about the online test, which if I had to, because I made it to the audition this time, that would actually be a pretty good indication that I actually might make it on the show. Although I hope this video doesn't factor into them not picking me, but I guess we'll see, right? So anyway, that was my trip to Boston to audition for Jeopardy, and I will see you all in the next video. See you next time. Thank you all for watching, and if you liked the video, you can hit subscribe and watch one of my other videos. My videos can be found on any of these fine sites, and if you want to help out, maybe consider supporting the show on Patreon. See you next time.